Come in.
How you doing today, ma'am?
Hello, how are you? So wonderful to meet you, Mr. Broughton. I'm Principal Woods here.
Nice to meet you, Principal Woods. How
Thank
you
you
doing?
for coming in today, interviewing with us for our special education teacher position that we have open here at our school.
My pleasure, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. Why do you want to be a teacher?
All right, so my personal teaching philosophy is that if we, the teachers, are prepared with the right steps and supplies to help the children on their way to being human beings, that they can be successful and thriving human beings in this world. So if we're prepared, then they'll be prepared, and that's the best thing that we have to offer them.
Okay, so you're talking about a couple of things that you want to do to help your students grow. So that kind of leads me into my next question, which is what are two qualities that you possess that are strengths that you could bring into the classroom as a teacher?
All right, number one would be consistency. Because for a lot of children, they don't see consistency in their life. They don't see people show up day in and day out, no matter if they're mad, sad, or glad, to help those children succeed. And that is one thing that I definitely count on being, is a consistent member of your staff, to where you can always count on me to be there, be around the children, be there for the children to help them succeed. And another thing that I pride myself on is being a great team player, having tremendous teamwork attitude. I believe that no matter the task, big or small, that everybody's a part of the team, and if we all work together, we'll be a successful school.
I love that you mentioned about building up this team aspect, and that's definitely something that is important for students and helping to mold them, which leads me into this question, because you're not the only person that's going to be on the team, and oftentimes the students need a strong support system, and that support system is at school and at home. So what would be a way, or how would you approach building relationships with the parents of your students?
Well, first, I would want to meet the parents. You have to be able to talk to the parents and speak with the parents without it being negative all the time. So without having to call home or telling someone, I would like to introduce myself. If I see them picking them up from school, or I could send a letter home just introducing myself. This is Coach Broughton or Mr. Broughton, introducing himself to the parents of the students and letting them know that I'm here if they need me. It doesn't always have to be a negative situation for them to think they can require my help. I'm here to help praise the child as well as work with the child. So we are here together to work to help that child be successful as a person.
And unfortunately, for some students, those negative situations, they do arise. Just to be honest, it's a part of growing and learning as a person. So,
Yes,
and a teacher is a very important part of helping that student to get back on the right path, or to continue down the right path in their learning and growth and development. So, let's say that you do have a discipline infraction in your classroom, or a student that may have reoccurring disciplinary behaviors that need to be addressed. How would you go about addressing that? How do you decide to, or when do you decide to, or how do you approach disciplining your students?
Well, first off, with discipline, I believe that there needs to be a boundary set. If there's not a boundary set, nobody knows if they're crossing the line. So number one, I want to set a boundary with them to let them know this is my line, don't cross that line. But if you do cross the line, I'm here to meet you halfway and understand where you're coming from, understand why maybe you're frequently getting in trouble or frequently having issues. It's definitely got to be something hidden beneath the surface that's causing issues. So it's my job as the team leader, the consistent person in their life, to help them be able to have somebody to talk to, work out their problems, see where their errors and their ways are. And that's one of the key things I love to do with the children.
Setting boundaries and giving expectations in the beginning is definitely important for the students, and it sets the tone for your classroom. So I do agree with you on that. And I thank you for sharing that with us, because teaching is one of those professions where you see your students 8 hours a day. You develop relationships with your students. They become, for some people like to call them their kids, because of the relationship that they build with their students. It requires you to be transparent and to be open and honest with your students in those especially difficult times. So the question that I'm leading into is, if you had to think about an area that is necessary for teaching, that is an area where you see yourself seeking to grow or to continue to grow in, what would that area be?
Just maintaining a good role model template for the children. Being able to show them better than I can tell them. Because sometimes you tell people things and they see you do other things, and it's not that easy to follow your words as it is to follow your actions. So I try to lead by example. As I said, I be consistent. I work well with the team. I'm able to speak well and communicate with others and show them that even though you may have issues and non-issues with people, that you're able to still work through those things and be a successful person.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Definitely having a good time.
Yeah, you know, we pride ourselves on asking for our students to be 100% themselves in the classroom, and that is definitely being shown today right here. And again, I thank you for coming in and to interview with us for this position. As you can see, we need more hands on deck here in our school.
Hey, you got to power through. You got to power through, work together.
So let's talk about technology. Clearly this pandemic happened. We're all still adjusting. Education is ever changing, ever evolving. And so we found that technology is necessary in the classroom. What is one way that you incorporate technology into the lessons that you create for your students?
Well, me personally, I like to do a lot of videos because I feel like a lot of times we do a lot of talking at the children, and we make them write notes and do all these things. And sometimes you just need to see it happening. You need to see those things in action. You need to see maybe what's the long-term situation can be and won't and cannot be, possibly, depending on the outcomes and the steps you take to provide for the outcome. So I would like for the children to they watch videos, they use manipulatives, things like that, different games online where they're able to learn without learning. You know, they don't know that they're learning, they think they're playing the game, but then next thing you know, they know a lot of facts because that game is teaching them those things, or that video has showed them those things. And I think that helps the children tremendously.
And it's definitely important to create those lasting memories for students where education is enjoyable, because when you enjoy learning, you want to learn more, you seek more opportunities to learn. So students being able to have those scenarios, and especially with kids now, they're so dependent upon technology for so many various things in their life, showing them that this too, technology also can be incorporated into your learning experience is very important. And the admirable thing that is incorporated into the classroom. So we're gonna get ready to close out, but I did have one more question for you before we finish out for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone approaches teaching differently. Everyone has their own morals and values that they stand on. And so in those morals and values, you create your philosophy, your outlook on life. And I wanna know, what is your teaching philosophy?
All right, my teaching philosophy is the same as the reason why I became a teacher. I personally feel that if given the right tools to succeed, the right preparation, the right steps to show those children what a good human being is and can be, that they're able to become thriving members of society. And that is our job as teachers, to give them those skills, steps, and instructions on how to become better people. Because we spend more time with them than anyone else, as you do know. I'm sure as a principal, we spend a lot of time with the children. Over 8 hours a day, every day, for 5 days a week, not including summers. And some kids definitely go to school during summer too. So I just know that it's our job to prepare them with the skills and instructions on how to be thriving human beings in this growing society.
That's wonderful. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again, Mr. Broughton, for coming and interviewing with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
I really enjoyed this interview, and you'll hear back from us in the next couple of days.
All right, thank you, ma'am.